Feeling landlocked and still surrounded completely by snow, we jumped at the opportunity to go for a shakedown sail on our buddy Kyle's newly acquired Cascade 27. We hopped aboard the Flying Circus and cruised under bridges and through the locks that join Union Lake's fresh water with the salty liquid that makes up the Puget Sound. I never thought that I'd be so happy at the welcoming sight of algae and barnacles. Since we sold our last boat in late 2014, we've sailed twice.
Off on the throttle?
Yeah. Go ahead and kill the engine.
The joy we felt when we killed the engine and the sound of the sails catching the light breeze was indescribable. We needed this reminder bad. Boats are built to go sailing. Oh yeah! It's good to refresh your brain and put into perspective why you started this whole thing in the first place.
Hell yeah!
We're sailing!
Win!
Thank you, Kyle. The most important meal of the day.
Mr. Kyle, would you like a Corona? Daring man.
So our overnight sail turned into 4 epic days of sailing and exploring. We saw everything from no wind to perfect 15 knots cruising us along at 7 to over 40 knots. We drifted and we flew. We practiced man overboard drills and hove to so we could drink mead and eat pickled herring. We pirated a mooring, anchored, and got a slip to explore Pool's boat for a day. Living in the moment, we were cruising again. We visited Longship Marine, one of the last surviving maritime consignment shops it seems, grabbed some local grub, and checked out the Free Maritime Museum. But let's be honest, we really came into town to sample the local beer. After getting some coffee on shore, we were itching to do it again. left Liberty Bay and found the wind and the sound. Feels good. God, it feels good. Back up the hill, we were finally starting to see some evidence of the meltdown beginning. Re-energized from the salty sea air, we were ready to get back at it. Before we put on the cabin top, we figured now was a good time to rough in the 3 full bulkheads. When are you going to cut the crown into the bulkhead, do you think?
So I'll put the bulkheads in and leave them overhanging, and because like I said, they're all warped and stuff, so you just straighten them out, and then once I get both of them in and I get the braces on them, get them straightened out, and then I get them tabbed into the cabin walls, then I'll put the beams across and then screw them into the beams and then trim the excess off.
I see.
This is like the main structural bulkhead.
Because that's the biggest one, right?
Yeah, that's where the mast comes down. The mast comes down right through here. So that's going to support the mast, or the deck beams, for the cabin roof.
Go to that intermediate, or? Okay.
So you can go right here.
I don't know how many man hours we've put into the boat, and I couldn't tell you how many fasteners hold her together. And I have no idea how many different interior ideas have been brought up, discussed, changed, adjusted, or rejected. But we had to decide on the placement of the main bulkheads.
With the space we have, like that come out here.
Garrett began constructing the template for the next bulkhead. The idea at this point in time is the big guy that's already in there is to separate the salon from the head up forward. We installed the counterpart bulkhead at midships to partition off the crew pilot berth and the rest of the main common area of the cabin. There will be a third bulkhead forward of this one to end the pilot berth and begin the V-berth. So as it stands, the idea is when you come down the companionway, to port will be the galley and to starboard a quarter berth. Continuing forward will be the salon and main table, with a settee opposite on starboard. Then the head, pilot berth, and V-berth beyond. Every day we come up with new ideas, pulling information from every boat we've stepped aboard. The biggest concern was headroom, and with more than 6.5 feet throughout most of the cabin, we've made sure Redaviva has that. A few of our other issues with previous boats were the galley and head spaces. We love to cook, so having a big workable galley is essential. Previous heads never seemed to have room for Garrett's cricket legs. I've always wanted to have good gathering spaces aboard, like a massive table to share meals, and an aft deck worthy of lounging cocktail hour. We wanted a big, small boat. Staying in the 30-foot range has a lot of benefits, and we don't think that means you have to sacrifice on space. Redaviva is a bodacious lady. A lot of inspiration came from boats like Baba 30 or West Sail, Down East, or Islander, and especially the Hans Christian 33. Just hanging out with boat. Everything's still super buried in snow. It's not too cold in here for her now. Looking up her mast. That's not the top of the shed with rafters. That's her billowing jib. One day, I'll just be laying on her deck. My hands in the water.
At eye level. Yeah, really. Oh, that's pretty cool. Maybe that's where it is. Part of where it is.
It's gonna be my favorite spot. Up on the bow. I wish I could capture what it feels like to sit where our cockpit's gonna be. Staring up at the night sky. Sleeping with the sound of waves. I can feel it. And I won't be wearing these boots anymore. Because it'll be warm. And I'll be barefoot all the time. And not have to worry about stepping on nails. Moving on to corner posts and trim gave us the first taste into finish work. You didn't need to move that too high out of the way. One day we won't see any of the plywood. It'll all be planked with beautiful reclaimed cedar planks. Cheers!
Cheers to
Up next,
the salty winches and adventures to come.
Good collaboration.
we welcome Anthony Hoffa as permanent crew and his other half, Jada. How's that wall taste? Why is the post wet? Then we work for the first time as a three-man crew, mixing epoxy and prepare to glass the deck. Just right up to here, okay?
I don't know if I'd leave your camera right there, Ruth. It's probably a bad place to leave your camera.
Where? Oh, yeah.
Especially when we just turned upwind.
I think it's recording us. Ruth is tricksy like that.